Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Danny Chase and welcome back to Racer Random SCP Review. This will be Racer episode 14. By that I mean there will be there's already 13 entries of SCP, and I know that's a few number, right? And there at this point there's already like more than 7,000 SCP. So like basically 13 out of 7,000, that's nothing, right? But however, like if we do this like consistently, one day we'll eventually, this is already episode 14. After this, like a few weeks from now we already at episode 20, and then after that 30, 50, and then 100. And like basically I just want to keep this series going on, like I don't know, until let's say 10 years from now, right? Let's just say it like that. At least I will keep this series keep going on. Like because I love SCP. There are so many of them. And there's just like there's just so many SCP that are unique, that has like quite like interesting, right? Yeah, it's basically like your fantasy, your story, your imagination, right? It's like fantasy story, right? It's not happening in real life, although some of them are based on real life as well. But yeah, like yeah, basically just imagine about things, right? Like fairy stories from these amazing creators, right? Although I also sometimes don't really like some of the SCPs because uh basically because I cannot understand what they are trying to say, right? Because I'm not, English is not my first language, therefore I have sometimes difficulties in understanding what people want to say, right? Especially in literatures. So yeah, anyway, I will count down from 3 2 1 and stop. Okay, 899. Okay, so okay, lately we've been getting SCPs less than 2000. It means it is old, right? So the previously we talked about SCP-1041. It was from 2013, I believe, or 2012 era. I believe it's 2013 actually. So 899, I guess it was about 2011, 2010 era, probably, right? Because this is actually the first series SCP. The previous one that we did was actually the Gut Dust, if I remember correctly, which was 499 or something, right? I kind of forgot already, but yeah. Okay, it's quite interesting. We got another series one SCP. It's always interesting. But okay, anyway, I will go to the SCP wiki and I will be right back. Okay, here we are in the SCP wiki, and this is SCP-899, which is called Lost Children. Okay, so here in the keyword will be children, right? So it's not like lost child or lost girl or lost boy, as in singular. This is children. It means more than one child. So yeah, it's quite interesting. SCP-899. Okay, actually, let's take a look then, shall we? Okay, SCP-899. Oh, my internet also bad again, the same as previous. Okay, like literally, I am now in the place where this Wi-Fi signal is like the weakest around the house, which was um yeah, like basically there's so many things in between me and the router. Like there is the floor, because because I'm in the second floor, right? And then the wi-fi router is in the first floor. So yeah, there is like the floor, there's walls, there is beams and stuff like that, that separates me from the router, right? So yeah, that's why the wi-fi is the weakest here. But anyway, SCP-899, there is no okay, there is no picture again, the same as before. So use your own imaginations for that. And also, I didn't see any um yeah, I didn't see any hyperlink that connects this to another one, apart from this one, SCP-573. But that's just basically leading to another SCP, right? So I'm not gonna take a look at that just yet. Okay, so yeah, I didn't see anything else, but alright. I guess I will just continue then. It's a lost children, or should I say it's lost children, not a lost children. Okay, so okay. Um, See incident reports. Okay, so there is supposed to be incident reports, but oh, okay, there is some over here. Okay, okay. So everything is in this page then. All right. SCP-899 lost children. Here we go. Object class Euclid, formerly safe. See incident reports. Okay, so there's probably some I guess she was, or it, or they, or he. I don't know the pronunciations. I don't know the pronouns just yet. Maybe we will know later on. But alright. Anyway, this one was considered as safe, and then there were some incidents. I guess what happened was that the SCP, the researcher, not the SCP, the SCP Foundation. I mean, the researcher probably they triggered something that caused the children to be like I don't know, like getting out of control, probably like making them you know out of control. Maybe they made them angry or something like that, so they are not safe anymore, right? Because they're now Euclid. Maybe there's also some casualties, right? After those incidents, which we'll have to take a look after this as well. Also, I will try my best to take only 30 minutes into this one still. I will always try my best, right? And unless I found something interesting to discuss, then I will discuss that. But I will always try my best to not discuss anything and just make it short, 30 minutes per episodes only. But yeah. Anyway, special containment procedures 899 is contained in a rough patch of forest in Rocky Mountain National Park. Okay, it is for they are children. Why would you contain them in a forest area in Rocky Mountain National Park? Also, Rocky Mountain National Park, it's in the U.S., right? The Rocky Mountain, if I remember correctly, it's in the middle part. Um, I don't know, like what states was that again? California? No. South Dakota, North Dakota. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's kinda in the center of U.S. But I might be wrong, right? I'm Asian. I don't know, right? I just like basically I just take a look at the world map and kind of take a glimpse, right? And then I remember seeing there's mountain area at the center to the north of America, basically. So yeah, all right. Anyway, 899 phenomena has not been able to travel more than 5 meters beyond a standing living tree. Thus, the area has been isolated by creating a continuous fire break around the affected region. Okay. Not able to travel more than 5 meters beyond living tree. Okay. Three park service cabins are staffed by Foundation agents on the borders of the site for the purposes of preventing hikers and travelers from attempting to enter 899. Okay, enter 899. That's interesting. So 899 is basically an area, not not an object. All right. Agents are authorized to administer Class B and C amnestics to any trespasser. But yeah, this is national park, so like random tourists or foreigners, they probably come visit every now and then, right? And chances are they stumbled upon this SCP, right? So they had to do the Class B and Class C amnestics, right? Also, I don't really know what's the difference between each class of amnestics. So there you go. I guess it's just like how powerful the amnestics are, right? Like let's say C is probably like for mild, right? Like you see something, you then forget about that, right? And then like maybe like A, class A is probably like complete mind removal, I would say, so that you don't remember anything, right? Basically, you get fully brainwashed, right? But I don't know. That's just my guess, I guess, for the each category of the class of the amnestics. Children who enter 899 cannot be recovered, and containment must be maintained by removing those who have knowledge of the child's last whereabouts or by planting false evidence of death by natural causes elsewhere in the region. Oh, I see. That's why it's called lost children, because yeah, basically this area will I would say kidnap or abduct children, and they cannot recover basically, right? So they're just gone, right? Like completely gone. And obviously, like maybe this is the child and their parents again, like maybe they have recreation. They went to this went to Rocky Mountain National Park, and then their children, basically just casually entering 899, and then they disappeared, right? So like the foundation knew about this, and they just basically gave the parents like probably class B amnestics, so that they just basically don't remember having any child, right? um and yeah, I guess there's that. Or like basically remembering that they had child, but then their children, their child passed away sometime, right? Some time ago, maybe that's the case. But all right. Interesting as well. Basically, it's a region that caused the children to get lost, okay, which is in the forest again, so it makes sense, even, right? Actually, here in my country, there's already a lot of like urban stories or urban legends about people losing, people getting lost in the mountain, and it's not only children. Usually, it's like an adult as well. Well, most of the time, it's always adult. Um, and in that, uh, consider like imagine a group of hikers, right? Like 5 people, and then one of them decided to wander by themselves. I mean, and basically this person that wander by themselves, they got lost, right, in the forest, and basically they got lost, and then the other four or their friends that the ones missing, they try to look for the missing person, but they couldn't find anything, right? So like they come down from the mountain, and then they ask help from the search and rescue team, and then after the research, like a week later, then the missing person is found, right? But it's already dead, because um so yeah, and then they just concluded basically that the person might have slipped and fell into the cliff, right? And then they injured themselves. There is no water and food, therefore they just died, right? Although what people nearby the mountain believe was that the wanderer probably did something wrong, right? Did something that made the mountain became angry, right? Angry, so that the mountain kind of took the person, right? And then basically as punishment, right? Which is actually a little bit grim and morbid, horrifying as well. But it is actually what people here believed anyway. I also believe that as well, as in that because it is nature, so you have to behave yourself most of the time, right? Because you know at the end of the day, this mountain also contains living creatures, right? Like trees, animals as well. So you kind of have to respect them, right? Especially when they already existed long, long time ago before you existed, right? So basically, it's you that visiting their territory, right? So you kind of have to pay respect. So that these urban legends kind of don't happen to you, right? But anyway, okay, let's actually continue. Agents who come into physical contact with 899 must undergo regular psychiatric evaluation. Okay, as the 899 phenomena has become increasingly more violent, all trees within 5 meters of the observation cabins have been removed. Personnel entering 899 must do so in pairs and carry sidearms with custom iron ammunition. Okay, so they basically thought that there is probably a creature, right, that basically kidnap people, right? So they kind of make like some kind of a protection to themselves, right? Which is always great. Description, here we go. 899 is a psychic and telekinetic phenomenon that most commonly manifests as groups of hostile phantom children. Travelers in the area have reported being pursued and harassed by small shadowy figures that curse and throw rocks in an attempt to drive them out of the immediate area. The figures tend to be featureless, and it is usually difficult to determine if they possess any gender or even individual voices and behaviors. Failure to leave the area will result in an increase of aggressive behavior, culminating in a direct physical attack by the entities. An adult who comes into physical contact with one of the entities will suffer the loss of all detailed memories prior to the onset of puberty. A general knowledge of family members and living conditions will remain, but persons who have been affected by this memory loss often displays a significant change in personality. The most common symptoms are a loss of impulsiveness and curiosity, and negative responses to attempts at humor. Affected persons also tend to become highly impatient with children because of their prior behavior. Um, okay, wait, I will drink a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think what happened here is that um, the shadowy phantom children, the hostile phantom children, or the shadowy figures, um, I don't know again what's the reference between these. I think I know some like stories when you were children, probably like like they try to scare you, right? Like don't go to the dark place because the shadow will capture you, right? And then you cannot escape. I think this is what what's the reference are from. Basically a scary story for children, right? Like children's scary pet story, basically, right? Um, so yeah, there's that. Also, when adult that come into this place will basically yeah, like basically will forget about their childhood, right? And then they will also feel like they get a little bit impatient towards children, right? So yeah, they basically become hateful towards children, which is again a little bit interesting here because like what's the case, right? So this is basically like a children predator, I would say, like children hater. I don't know how to say it like in a good way, but it is what it is, right? It's just something is not having like not liking or like basically hating children, right? So there's that. Pre-adolescent children who come into contact with the entities will physically disappear. Okay, so pre-adolescent, so yeah, basically like kids, right? um, will physically disappear, after which some or all of the entities may take on parts of the lost child's appearance. No attempt to communicate or find the whereabouts of a child lost in this way has yet been successful. Adolescents who have not fully matured past puberty are something, okay. Although more detailed manifestations have been encountered within the area, um, no attempts to communicate with the entities within 899 have resulted in anything but attacks on Foundation personnel. Whenever have been encountered within the area, no attempts to communicate. Okay. Basically, they fail to try to communicate with whatever it is, right? The entities or something that caused the telekinetic phenomena, right? Um, Items made of iron or steel, let's say, are useful in warding off direct contact with the entities. However, as confrontation of the phenomenon is not required to contain it, no tools containing steel have been allocated to 899. Um, as confrontation of the phenomenon is not required to contain it. Okay, so yeah, basically, let's say explosives or something like that, right? Any dangerous items, which is basically not usable, right? Not usable, but more like unnecessary to be brought in, right? So yeah, travel through the area is also hindered by a spatial anomaly that makes land navigation difficult. Compass and GPS navigation system will give false directions, and trails through the underbrush will change course. Although there are occasional sounds of wildlife within the affected area, no wild animals or tracks have been observed within the range of 899's effects. Animals brought into the site are also subject to attacks by the entities, although they will not attempt to make physical contact. Um, Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I was wondering about this as well. This is in the forest, right? So there must have been like deers or like moose or birds, like basically any other creatures, right? Like squirrels or something like that. And what happened if the animals entered the area, right? So apparently they also got, they also become the subject to attack, but they will not attempt to make physical contact, right? So I guess that's a little bit interesting. But okay, experiment 899-1 conducted March 23rd to May 15, 2009. 573 was transferred to 899 to test its effect on the childlike manifestations. Okay, so 573 is probably something that looks like children or something that resembles children, right? Is successful in driving away the manifestation. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I think 573 is used to, to protect these like childlike manifestations, probably, right? So yeah, successful driving away manifestation, although the spatial anomaly that complicates land travel within the area remained. Okay, so the effects that affecting the GPS compass still stays, but you know like yeah, the childlike manifestations, it's not affecting the SCP, right? Okay, interesting. 573 should be contained here with 899 as they can effectively be used to cancel each other out. There are no children or animals to be exposed to 573 inside this place. Please reconsider and return 573 to my care, Agent W. Okay. No children or animals to be exposed. 573. Can I okay, so I would say 573 is probably like some kind of anti-anomaly effect, and yeah, there's that. Also, there are no children or animals to be exposed inside this place. Please reconsider return 573 to my care. Okay, so yeah, um, Incident report 899-25. Oh, interesting. This is the one that basically like changed the status from safe into Euclid, right? Okay. June 10, 2009. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is before 2010. Yeah. I mean, it's already been mentioned there as well. Yeah. It's like an old SCP basically, right? Which was at this point it's more than 13 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I kind of like that an SCP basically getting older, right? So it gets more prehistoric, more ancient, and then that like basically more interesting to read, right? New manifestation has been encountered 899. The entity took the appearance of an adolescent male covered with bloody wounds. Oh, okay, so they took a new shape of form, right? Um, so it was originally only resembles a shadowy figure or like children, right? Shadowy that looks like children, but this one it's now an adolescent male covered with bloody wounds. So it's either the victim or like basically the person that caused this originally, right? Rather than the normal interaction, it immediately attacked Doctor. Oh, okay, resulting in severe lacerations and distinct bite marks on the arm, neck, and upper thigh. Doctor is undergoing treatment and quarantine. Okay, so the doctor tried to get into the area and then, not not the shadowy figure that it resembled itself, but it appears into a male, right? And then, like maybe scratch or in this case bites the doctor, and then it caused a lot of lacerations, right? So I guess what happened here is that the doctor didn't actually anticipated this thing to happen, right? So they didn't actually have the proper protection against this, but all right, at least the doctor is not dead, so that's at least always a good thing, right? Also this one 89926, June 13, 2009. Okay, so that's 3 days later. um, Doctor, the same person is released from quarantine with no permanent damage beyond scarring. Okay, passed a psychiatric examination with expected results and has been able to give detailed recollections from his youth despite physical contact with 899. Oh, okay, the new manifestation has been classified 899-1. Okay, there are some informations here. Um, this doctor got encountered by like a human-like figure, right? But we know from up here that every time you got encountered by the shadowy figure, you will lose any memories from your childhood, right? But here in this case with this doctor, the researcher, he still retain or remember the past, right, or his past basically. That's the first information. The second one being that now this adolescent male, like basically the new figure, is now considered as dash one. So I guess this just basically to make a new rules, right? Like basically like a new protection, I guess, like new safety protocols. Like if you see this person, like the adolescent male, be careful because it will do harmful things to you, right? So yeah, it's like a precaution basically, and they name it dash one. Okay, 27 June 20th. Okay, so it's a week later. Dash 1 manifestations have been increasing in number, okay, and have been observed in direct conflict with other manifestations of 899. Dash 1 has also attacked the cabin on the northern border and started a fire, which resulted in the death of Agent W something. Okay, so it's this one over here, the one that possessed 573, which was unfortunate, but alright, there's that. Um, Okay, new informations as well. Basically, what happened here is that here on the first one, there's only one, right? One adolescent male. And now here, there is multiple of them. And apparently, not all of them has, like the same thought, right? So apparently, one of, like, between one and another they conflict themselves, right? Which all right, I guess. That's something. Also we know that this one can do even more harmful things, right? Like starting fire, right? So it began to take like physical form that can actually do stuff, right? Like it became smarter basically. Like it's, I would say it's like sentient now, right? Like it can think, it can do stuff, it can basically think and like evolve, right, in doing stuff, which is again now considered as dangerous, right? I would say, and probably that's why it's now reclassified from safe to Euclid because um, what if these manifestations can actually walk outside the perimeter now, right? Like what if it can actually work far away now, right? So that will be a little bit more difficult to contain, right? That's why they reclassified it as Euclid, because again they probably don't know what will be in the next stage of this, right? But yeah, although 899-1 can be deterred in the same manner as 899, the new manifestations display a significant increase in aggression with intent to kill. Yeah, like I said, right? They evolve basically. Research suggests that the change in 899's phenomena is related to exposure of 573. Oh, okay. No further cross SCP experiences with 899 is allowed at this time per O5 order. Okay, so I think what happened is that um 573 was supposed to cancel the effect of 899, right? But 899 kind of feel like it was challenged as in, like, oh, there's a contender. Okay, let's actually improve ourselves then. Let's actually make more manifestation, right? Just to encounter, like basically to counter 573, right? And they succeeded, right? And they created a human form basically, right? And this human form can actually do stuff now, right? And I think that's also the best thing as well for the foundation to not like to not do any other cross experiment with other SCP. Like let's say what's the previous one that we know, let's say the Jianxi ring, right? yeah, like the ring, right? What if the person that enters this using the ring, right? So yeah, like basically it will turn into a vampire, right? So like maybe 899 will then think that oh, we summon a creature, and then there is this person also that like basically summoning vampires, right? So let's actually evolve our summon as well, so that from adolescent male, maybe it now can fly, right? So it has aerial attacks, which you don't want, right? Like basically think that this can happen, right? So like maybe with those thinkings, they don't actually use any other cross experiments, right? So there you go. Yeah, like again, what if you, and what if you put 682 into this place, right? And then 899, oh, there's this powerful creature 682, right? So let's actually match this thing, match this power, right? Let's actually summon like a male, basically a human male that are very big, right? Like a Godzilla probably, right? And then that it actually can like maybe not surpass, but at least it's still as powerful as 682, right? Which in this case will be very bad, right? Because then these manifestations can do even more crazy stuff, right? Like like it becomes a huge creature, right? Like let's say Godzilla, right? And you cannot actually control that, right? Which is again will be very difficult to contain. I guess for safety reason, it is always a good call to do this, like canceling this, right? So that no further bad things or incidents to happen, right? Also, this is incident 27, 26, 25. I believe there's also probably like incidents 1 to 24, which was basically all these previous experiments that they did, right? With um like basically they recorded all those incidents, and like I guess the incident 25, 26, 27 is like the most recent one that are considered as like something like breaking through, right? Like the breakthrough, right? It evolved basically, like the incidents resulted the 899 to evolve into something else, right? Into something more dangerous. And yeah, and also obviously this is probably the end of the incidents, because it was 2009, and it was a while ago, right? But however, if the author wants to come in again and add more incidents, that would also be nice, right? Like what happened in incident, like let's say 54, right? Incident 54, like the manifestations now can multiply, right? So yeah, like basically from one, it can then instantly duplicate itself, right? Like surrounding the victims, right? Or something like that, right? And then like again, like maybe incident 100, right? And then in the year, like let's say 2010, 2012, or something like that, or even to the recent days as well, like 2022, right? Or 2022, I would say. And yeah, like it will be interesting, right? So that it's not short. But again, this is old SCP, therefore it's short, right? Which is always the case here, right? um like back then they just want it to be simple, and simple and short, and still retains its horror or terrifying aspects into it, right? So which is always a great example of SCP. Again, this is also a great one. The previous one we talked about SCP, the sticker one, the killer serial stickers, I guess, which was also short, right? But yeah, interesting. This is also, I like it as well, because of it's short and it's straight to the point, right? um, I kind of understand what it's trying to say, right? This is basically a region that can that are hateful towards children, and then it can summon stuff to do harmful stuff to nearby living creatures, right? And then it can also evolve, apparently changing the manifestations form, right? And now it's at adolescent male state, right? um, what if it also evolve into like a adult male, right? With more powerful, right? And then what if it also can evolve into having other like uh, any other basically addition that can make it even more powerful. Like maybe it can fly, right? It has wings now. But yeah, anyway, interesting. I kind of wonder if what happened if you actually, like as I mean, I kind of don't want to try this as well, but I want to see as well what happened if you, because this is all related to shadow, right? What happened if you actually shine light into this area, right? Like let's say there's spotlight, right? The floodlight or something like that, like a lot of illumination, right, into this area so that it's never dark, right? What happened if you do that? But then again, I'm not gonna try that because like maybe it will trigger 899 to like oh, you now have lights, right, trying to hide our shadow. Then well, jokes on you, now I will evolve and I will actually summon stuff if there are lights as well. Now it's not always dark, but now in light as well I can summon stuff as well, which is like always bad, right? So yeah, I kind of curious as well, right? But then again, if it will be bad if 899 considered this as a challenge so that it will improve itself, right? And then, through the manifestations, and it can become more powerful, right? But yeah, anyway, I think that'll be it for today's Racer random SCP review. This is episode number 14, I think. Yeah, 13 was previous one, and this is 14. And yeah, it's about lost children, or not really the lost children, but more like an area that can cause children to get lost, right? To disappear basically into shadows. But yeah, it's interesting. I like this one. It's short, it's simple, but yeah. Anyway, I think that'll be it for today's episode of Racer. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you again a few days from now, next week potentially. So stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya.